This is the story of how I moved from Lahore to Germany on a full scholarship. If you're looking to move to Germany or just abroad in general, my story will most likely help you. And then we're going to talk about how you can move to Germany as a student to public and private universities. So we're going to start off with who I am. My name is Abdullah. I am originally from a city called Lahore in Pakistan. It's a city of 20 million people, so it's not small. It's a great city. I think it's a world-class city. I studied at Aitchison College in Lahore. And after doing my A levels, I decided I wanted to go abroad. But my parents said you can only go abroad if you get a full scholarship. So that was a pretty big challenge for me to find a full scholarship. Germany was never on top of my mind, but as things would happen, my friend applied to a university in Germany. And to tease him, I also applied to that university. I got an admission, but I was never going to go there because it was a private university and I would have had to take a loan to pay my semester fees. In my mind, Germany was already shelved. But then fortunately, I got a full scholarship in Germany, and therefore I moved to Germany in 2016. I studied industrial engineering and management. It was pretty good. My university had 120 students from different nationalities, and I learned to deal with people of all sorts. But that was a private university. Everything was in English. We used to live on campus. It was not a real German university experience. But, anyways, I've been living in Germany for the past 9 years. I did an internship during my bachelor's time, and then once I graduated, I moved to Berlin. I wanted to move to Berlin because it is the entrepreneurial capital of Germany, and I want to be a businessman. That is my goal. So I wanted to get hands-on experience at fast-paced startups, and I did. I did pretty well. I landed my first job. I converted my first internship to my first job, and then I decided I wanted to do my master's because I wanted to switch from marketing, which was what I was doing, to something more technical, something more fulfilling, which is why I enrolled at a program called Management and Digital Technologies at the prestigious LMU in Munich. If you don't know that university, it is one of the best universities in Germany. And yeah, that was pretty nice. It was a public university. I did not have to pay a single cent apart from administration fees, which is about 200 euros a semester. Not too bad. And it was a great experience. I did projects with companies like Salesforce, GEMA, which is the German Musical Association, and did a lot of courses that were very hands on. So my experience with public universities was very positive in Germany. At the same time, I did something different. For the first time in my educational career in Germany, I did working student positions. Working student roles are specifically designed to integrate students into companies or industries in Germany, and you learn a lot. I was a working student at the Boston Consulting Group in Munich, and then I was a working student at Allianz Global Investors, also in Munich. Because of these working student positions and a good university, I landed a job straight after graduation. I had two offers, one from a company called Eon In-House Consulting, and the second was from EY Parthenon as a management consultant. I started that job, was pretty good, very hands-on experience, but not too technical. So I decided I wanted to do something where I see execution from end to end compared to consulting, where you just give an opinion and then you're gone. I wanted to see something fully through, which is why I switched to product management or project management as well. And that is what I'm doing currently. I work full time. Over the past few years, I've gotten a lot of stuff done, including getting my driving license. Very important. Really improves your quality of life. Then I've also gotten my German passport. Very important, very useful, really good for travel, really good for peace of mind. And yeah, I would say I'm pretty settled in Germany. I speak German fluently. I think I'm close to C1, C1. And the journey never stops. And lastly, over the past 1 year, I've been sharing my experiences, my learnings, my thoughts on social media. We've built a large family of over 100,000 people across social media platforms. Now I want to do YouTube and share some topics in more detail and also share more aspects of my journey. So if you know me from social media or you find me interesting or what I'm talking interesting, then subscribe and we'll stay in touch. Also, like, that is what everybody on social media says. Before we move to the second part of this video, I want to do a quick comparison about public and private universities in Germany. So, public universities are universities funded by the government. They are mostly free of tuition. There is only a nominal semester contribution that you have to make. Education standards in Germany are great, so it's not like public universities are bad. They have huge fundings, they have large faculties, they do a lot of research, and they have very good connections with a lot of private universities. The vast majority of universities in Germany are public universities. However, in public universities, class sizes are sometimes huge. The large majority of programs usually are in German, so you have to really find programs in English if you don't know German. And admission to public universities are very fair and transparent. There is a strict requirement, and if you don't meet those requirements, you won't get admission. But if you meet those requirements, you will most likely get admission, unless programs are restricted or seats are limited. On the other hand, private universities are much more flexible. Most of their programs are in English. They cost a lot of money, between 12,000 to 25,000 a year. Class sizes are small. Customer service is actually pretty good. They might not have that much focus on research or have connections to industries like public universities. However, there are a lot of private universities that are ranked quite high in Germany. Regardless, some of them are quite scammy, so be careful if you're going to private universities. In my opinion, you don't need to go to a private university, just choose a good public university and you're all set. I don't know if it's because I've been living in Germany so long, but it's absolutely crazy for me to pay that much money purely for education. It should be a basic human right. So, how can you move to Germany as a student? This is a very big question with a lot of different aspects. However, I'm going to give you a strong overview over the entire process. Firstly, in Germany, there are two semesters, the winter and summer semester. The intakes for the winter semester start between April to June, July, and the intakes for the summer semester start from October, November till January end or early February. The large majority of programs in Germany start in the winter semester. So quite often the program that you like might not start in the summer semester, so you might have to wait one semester before you start in the winter. How do you find university programs in Germany? There are a couple of websites that I find pretty useful for public universities. All of this is public universities. The first website is DAAD.de. They have a huge database of all programs that you can filter by semester, by tuition fee, by language, by graduate, PhD, all of that stuff. And then there's another website called Hochschulkompass, which does more or less the same thing. You choose whatever you like best. Now, quickly, let's talk about language requirements. Usually for master's programs are most often in English, but bachelors quite often they're in German. However, the trend is changing and more bachelors are offered in English as well. Then, how do you apply to German universities? You're going to apply through either Uni-Assist or the university portals themselves. Uni-Assist is like the common application for the US. You send your documents, you choose your universities, and then you get an admission. There's a huge process behind it. I'm going to talk about that in a future video, so subscribe if you haven't. And then quite often universities have their own portals. That is what I've done for both of my universities. You send your documents, you get a reply, and you enroll directly with the universities. Fees for universities are pretty nominal or not at all. So usually it's 50 euros or something per university, but this depends. Then another concept for German universities that you need to know is that there are restricted and non-restricted admissions for public universities. So restricted means that a class size can only be a certain amount. For example, 50 students. However, unrestricted programs can have an unlimited amount of students. So if you meet the requirements, you will get an admission. When you're applying, you need to choose universities with programs for restricted and unrestricted admissions. So just to be safe, you get a letter in hand. It's easier to get an unrestricted admission letter compared to a restricted program's admission letter. Lastly, let's talk about expectations before you come to Germany. If you're coming to Germany, you need to create a blocked account. This is around 11,000 something. This is money that is blocked for your use per month and it's released on a monthly basis. So you get 1,000 something euros out of that blocked account every month. But I would say if you're a student coming to Germany, you don't even need to use your blocked account. Get a working student position ASAP. As a student, you can work 20 hours per week in Germany. And if you find a working student job, you get about 1,600 euros a month, which is enough to cover your living expenses. So definitely do that. I personally saved a lot of money while I was a student and I did a lot of traveling because I was doing a working student role. So to summarize, that is the difference between public and private universities. This is how you apply to German universities. We also talked about some things that you need to be aware of when coming to Germany. Now let's conclude this video. Thank you for listening. I hope I was able to help. This was my story about coming to Germany, my background, what I learned, and how I did all of these things. When I moved to Germany, there was not a lot of information available on the internet. But I would like to help people who are moving to Germany or just going abroad in general about what you can expect, what kind of challenges come up, how do you do a lot of different things that you just don't do in your home country. So subscribe and stay tuned for the journey. Ciao.